Thursday, February 11th. There is the closing bell, guys, with the S&Ps up just about 7 points. This market is still relatively weak. Weakness has been the theme this week, with the market hovering near all-time highs. How much higher can we go? What boost will it take to get things going? Will Friday bring some selling? Let's dive right in, break this market down, and then go over the top trending stocks of the day. We take a look at the overnight trade, and it was similar to the previous nights. We kind of trended higher, and at the bell, we just rolled over. So we spent most of the day trying to get back positive, and we're just 7 points up right now in the S&P futures. We got a little boost in the final few minutes before the bell. Now, when we look at it on a daily, though, the S&Ps just seem to be camping around this 3,900 level. It's wanting a catalyst to push it higher. Will it be the stimulus news? Haven't heard anything on it lately, so maybe it comes next week and over the weekend. They like to do these drops on Friday after the bell, so possibly it could be coming tomorrow. Let's cruise on over and take a look at the NASDAQ. We take a look at the NASDAQ, and it was up 0.58%. So the NASDAQ actually was outperforming our other indexes today. We can just see it's knocking on the door to all-time highs, and like the S&P, it's consolidating very close to 14,000 at levels we never imagined. Now, when we take a look at the Big Five, today the Big Five, you can see, was down 0.41%. So the NASDAQ is outperforming our Big Five, and being down 0.4% is putting stress on our S&P. However, we even have Tesla that's up with Microsoft. But outside of that, we take a look at the Big Five here. It's not looking too strong. However, these are stocks that can snap on a dime. We're just kind of consolidating in this area for the most part. You can just see if we breached like this high that we broke out of, then it'd be a little concerning. But for the most part, you can just see this line, invisible line right there. The Big Five is just resting, waiting to march higher, and when it does, it's going to drag this market up with it. Let's move on over and take a look at the Russell 2000. Taking a look at the Russell, you can see it's down 2 points, 0.09%. It's our only red index. After being on an amazing tear, the Russell's slowing down a bit. However, it's a pretty nice wick we're seeing here, and it had a pretty good intraday reversal. Can we trend higher? Now, when we look at some of our other sectors, we can see today the technology sector was up over 1%. So that's other technology stocks that are carrying their weight, helping technology rally higher, minus the Big Five, which is a good sign. We even see software stocks up 1% as well. Other than that, our sectors look relatively weak outside of technology and software stocks. You can see the financials down about 0.3%, but financials are just kind of sitting near all-time highs, waiting for confirmation to break higher. This will be the theme in next week to see if the financials want to do that. It's going to be interesting to see what the expected move is on tomorrow's close. What else is down? Well, the XLE is down 1.5%, but it too is in the similar boat as the financials, just waiting on confirmation to go higher. These are two pivotal sectors that are going to drive this market higher along with technology, and when all three are on the same page, this market is very hard to take down. So with our indexes relatively weak, how did the bonds shape up today? And taking a look at the 30-year, you can see it's down 0.2% and rolling back over after having 3 green days. The bonds are coming back down. We look at it on a volume profile. That 167 level is becoming stronger and stronger. It was 169. It even was up here at 173 at one point. The bonds, for the most part, you can just see they're just trending south. Now, what's it going to take to turn these bonds around? Well, our Federal Reserve, but it appears to be they like how things are going right now. And when we take a look at the TNX is on the verge of breaking higher. It's just knocking at the door. A confirmation for the TNX breaking higher would mean the equities are rallying, which they're on the verge of doing that. It's just waiting for the green light. Let's move on over and take a look at our volatility index. Taking a look at the VIX futures, they're down almost 4%. Now, when you look at the trade tab, these contracts are rolling in 6 days, so March will be the contract to look at. So this February contract is just collapsing. You can see in the final power hour, it's just coming down, getting a little bounce here. When we look at the VVIX actually went red. It was slightly green, you can just see. However, it's not getting beat up as much. That's because it measures multiple volatility contracts, and you can just see for the most part, the VVIX is kind of just where it was yesterday, camping out here. So until the VVIX actually puts in a down day, you can see it's about even on the day. Volatility really isn't going away, but it will be interesting to see how the VVIX trades tomorrow. You can see it's positive right now. We just look at it getting a little bids in the final minutes, but keep your eyes on what the VVIX does on Friday's session. Let's head on over and take a look at our dollar and see how the commodities broke down. Taking a look at our dollar index, it was up 0.03% for the most part. It's just kind of consolidating around this 90.4 level. Ultimately, I expect the dollar to go down the second we get more money printing, but in the meantime, it's just kind of sticking around here. When we look at crude oil, it was down 1.25% today. After being on a nice tear, are we seeing crude oil about to roll over? How low do we go? When we throw crude oil on a volume profile, you can see it hasn't spent much time up here. Maybe this 56 level could play a nice bounce if we come down and up, but like other things, crude oil depends largely on the supply and demand with OPEC, so anything could come out on that could drive it higher. But crude oil that's been on a nice run, I'd expect it to cool off a bit, and you can see it's hurting our XLE. And then we have gold, and you can see gold down 0.9%, $16 gold after being on a few days up, rolling over. We see silver, however, near flat on the day. Ultimately, these metals aren't going to get going until the money printing and the dollar wants to get moving. But we have something that doesn't care about none of that, and that's Bitcoin stealing the spotlight from the metals. Up today 6%, put in a new all-time high. Bitcoin looks to be consolidating here. My charts are saying the 12th or the 13th for some big moves. If we get going, look for 51.9K as a big Fibonacci level, and that psychological 50,000 could get some FOMO buyings that drives it up very fast. So keep your eyes on those levels because Bitcoin trades throughout the night and the weekends. But some big news today in Bitcoin. MasterCard talking about it, and even BNY Bank. BYN is a huge bank, and that's big news. For them getting into the crypto space, that's slowly knocking things down one by one. It's almost like every morning you wake up, who's next? Who is talking about Bitcoin next? And that's the era we're living in right now, and it's quite a great time. There you have it for the stock market breakdown. Now, tomorrow there's no economic data on my calendar that I'm seeing, so don't expect much in tomorrow's session. We expected only 63 points this week, and we're just right in the middle. We're not getting any action. After seeing some nice rally last week, this week the market's kind of putting it on snooze. Maybe gearing up for a bigger move in next week. Who knows? But let's move on over and take a look at some of the trending stocks of the day. And coming in at number 2, Microvision Inc. Today, Microvision was up over 30% with a market cap of $2.7 billion on a year-to-date. Microvision is up 251%. Wow. Just look at this move Microvision has been on. Now, what does Microvision do? Well, they're an American company that develops laser scanning technology for projection, 3D sensoring, and image capture. Now, Microvision seeing some nice volume today and a very steep move. What's moving this stock? Well, we take a look at it intraday, and after the bell and after hours, the company updated the progress that it's making on its long-range LiDAR sensor. It's been about 3 months since Microvision's last update regarding the product, and it appears that the investors ate what they said up. You can see we popped very hard in the after hours, and we kind of fizzled into the pre-market, and as the day unfolded, now when we take a look at this on an expected move, this week we were expecting $1.85. So a 4 standard deviation move is $18.94, which we're about 65 cents below that. And a 3 standard deviation move is $17.09. You can see we're well above that upper edge. However, when we take a look at those levels, let's draw some lines in here. So $18.94 will play our 4 standard deviation move, and $17.09, where is it? It's right around here. We'll play a 3 standard deviation move, which you can see we bounced off that 3 sig, and the 4 sig was kind of like the pivot level on the week. So we'll see how that 1894 holds up tomorrow, and if we do roll over, look for 1708 to play some support. But that's 3 standard deviations now. When we just take a look at it on an expected move, the upper edge was 1339. So I would say somewhere in the middle of 1339 and 1708. If we do see some profit taking tomorrow, there's a little gap there as playing a solid support if you want to get into this space. And coming in at the number 1 trending ticker of the day goes to Pinterest Inc. Today, Pinterest was up 7.3% with the market cap of $54.7 billion. On a year-to-date, Pinterest is up almost 28%. Now, what does Pinterest do? Well, they're an American image sharing and social media service designed to enable saving and discovery of information, specifically ideas on the internet. Now, some big volume in it today. What's the buzz? Well, trading higher on reports that Microsoft was in the talks to acquiring this company. Microsoft wanted TikTok, but that deal never happened. So it appears Microsoft is in the hunt of a social media company. Some big volume, but a lot of speculation going on here. Now, when we throw it on an expected move, we are expecting $4.62 this week. And you can see that upper edge is playing some resistance around 86.50. You can just see we're kind of peeling off of that level. What makes the most sense, I would say, is to kind of camp this area, this 87, 88 range for at least this week. We're seeing some big move in this stock. However, it's not real news. It's just speculation. So how high can this stock go? We look at it on a trade tab. It is hard to borrow. So potentially could see a squeeze into tomorrow's tape. And if we do see that, you add on 462 from this upper edge, and you'd be looking at around $90 as some upper resistance, around a 2 standard deviation move. There you have it for the top trending stocks of the day. Did you get a chance to watch any of these tickers? If not, what are you guys looking at going into Friday? And if you've enjoyed the video, guys, hit that thumbs up button. It means a lot when you guys like my videos. And if you're watching me for the very first time, I do these every single day. Show some love. Hit that subscribe button right down there. It doesn't take long, and it will really make my day. But on that note, any comments, questions, feedback, leave it down below, and I'll get back to you. But on that note, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Have a great night. Take care. Peace.